Good morning. It is now almost 2 years since we began the transition to Afghan security responsibility. And in less than 2 years from now, our combat mission in Afghanistan will be completed, and we will launch a new mission to train, advise, and assist the Afghan forces. So tomorrow we will meet with the 50 countries which contribute to ISAF to take stock of progress and look at some of the challenges ahead. Compared with 2 years ago, the Afghan forces are bigger and better. They are taking the lead for security in areas where 87% of the population lives. Later this year, they will start taking the security lead right across the country, and ISAF's main effort will shift from combat to support. ISAF is our biggest mission, and over the years, it has driven the modernization of our own forces. They have adapted to every challenge, and they have learned to work together more closely and effectively than ever before. Now we must ensure that we maintain those gains and that we build on them so that the next generation of NATO troops is as good at working together as the current generation has become. That is why we launched the Connected Forces Initiative last year, which we adopted at the Chicago Summit. Today, I expect ministers to take it forward by discussing concrete goals and targets for more ambitious training and exercises. And I expect to see a new emphasis and energy to our rapid reaction corps, the NATO Response Force. We will also discuss how to take forward and increase our cooperation on capability development, particularly through smart defense. In this time of austerity, it is essential that nations get the most value for taxpayers' money. Working together is the best way of ensuring this, so that NATO remains the gold standard of security and remains ready to deal with any challenge the future may bring. Finally, tomorrow we will welcome the new Defence Minister of Ukraine to the NATO-Ukraine Commission. Ukraine is a significant partner and a valuable contributor to our operations. We will discuss the way ahead in our partnership, and we will take forward our political dialogue, which is based on the principles of democracy, the rule of law, and human rights. And with that, I'm ready to take a couple of questions.
We have time for a couple of questions. Please don't forget to introduce yourselves. Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, Naftali David with the Wall Street Journal. So automatic spending cuts for the defense budget in the United States are supposed to take effect on March 1st. And I wanted to ask you if there's any concern about the effect those cuts are going to have on NATO's capability and operations.
Obviously, I'm not going to comment on domestic and internal politics in the United States. But from an overall perspective, it is, of course, a matter of concern that we have seen and continue to see declining defense budgets all over the alliance. I do realize that governments are faced with economic challenges. I also realize that the security sector, that defense can't be accepted from the efforts to get the fiscal house in order. But having said that, it is a matter of concern to see the declining defense budgets. It's my assessment that if defense cuts continue, it will have a negative impact on our ability to provide effective defense and protection of our populations. So my appeal to governments is, firstly, hold the line, stop the cuts. Secondly, make more efficient use of the resources we do have through more multinational cooperation. And thirdly, once the economies recover, start to increase defense investments again.
German press agency.
Dieter Ebling, DPA, German press agency. Secretary General, are you disappointed or perhaps concerned that your own declared intention to have the concept of operation being adopted at this meeting for the next Afghanistan mission will not materialize? And what are the implications of that delay? And do you think that this mission can be fulfilled with, for example, a few thousands of US troops instead of 10,000 or tens of thousands of US troops?
First of all, we stick to our timeline. So the ISAF combat mission will be completed by the end of 2014. And a new NATO-led training mission will be established from the 1st of January 2015. We have still some time to go. We're in the process of planning. And I would expect final decisions on the size and scope of the future NATO-led training mission to be taken within the coming months.
Thank you very much. That's all we have time for.